what's up, yins, guys? Time for another video. Where I talk about the real-life Yu-Gi-Oh games, Yu-Gi-Oh cards that people play, and then I'll sarcastically say, does anybody actually play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore? But it's still a hell of a good metaphor. And I'll say in parentheses real quick, there's a couple YouTubers that I think, remember off the top of my head, that in their merchandise they have, or it's not, I don't know if it's their thing, but they sponsor or endorse a game kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it's like to make fun of far leftists, where they don't call it Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's a card playing game. And I guess you fill in the blanks, you know what I mean? But yeah, the modern day real life Yu-Gi-Oh games people play. This one is the get help card, or do you need help card, and you almost want to make fun of these people, and you don't want to, you don't even know where you want to start to make fun of these different people at what angle, because there's a couple of different aspects and phases or ideologies, if you will, where this card is played. But first, we'll talk about the legit, like everybody knows, there's the legit version of it that usually, when people say it, usually defines somebody that's usually, that maybe could be a possible danger to theirself, or a menace or a danger to other people. And, but, the legit shit that you tell people out there in the actual world outside of this fucking YouTube but the other card people play, whether it's out there in the actual world, but I can argue they play this card and misuse this card, retool it to their own advantage, while hiding behind a computer and hiding behind an anonymous YouTube channel or social media channel. You can't see what they look like, what they're into, what kind of shit they're subscribed to, or anything. Some kind of fucking cowardly ass troll. Like the ones you meet in real life, whether you meet in real life or whether they hide behind a fucking YouTube or social media channel, you want to ask them, by what authority do you say this? Is there a manifesto I can look at, like an ideology? I mean, is there a Bible? Is it a religion? Is it a cult religion? Is it a non-religious, secular, authoritative platform? Or are you a fucking communist? Anyway, is there a book or a book of rules or manifesto that defines the ideology? Do you have a copy of it, or you have an ebook about it? I can take a look at it so I can pick it apart and make fun of it a little bit, and I'll also say it also would stem from, I don't know, some of us, we had relatives or older people or neighbors, relatives or stuff, and knowing that there was an era where, okay, some of these fuckers that would say this shit, they don't have no manifesto or no authority, they say, to back things up. If you say anything in text to them on there, they just don't answer you back. So it means they're either a bot or a troll, and they have no ideology or manifesto. But I'll talk in parentheses for a second that these kind of fuckers, whatever age group they're in, they come from different ideologies, and some of them would like to be a communist country, or they want to be not even communism, like, see, the real old school. If you want to take religion, for example, old school Catholics or old school Baptists, where, no long hair, no this or that, or you want to say other races, is too, maybe the old school fanatic religion or something, where people of other color, the older ones of other color, just like white people, no dreads, no long. Anyway, whatever race or group that you'd have watching this, there's a kind of an older authority that was decent to one point, but another part that would if you don't subscribe to their shit, like in a authoritarian, old school religion type of way, that they'd like to bring back the days where both people, black or white, were easily 302'd and thrown somewhere. Whether you were, no matter what color you are, maybe for having your hair a teeny bit past the collar and questioning just something that certain people's parents would gladly do that, or whatever they did back in the day, you know, to shut people up. They'd like to bring that back, or they want to set up a communist type of thing and have you taken away and shut away in some hospital or whatever. Oh, I don't want to go overboard talking in parentheses about this, but now that I'm on that subject, you know, we had the communist Soviet Union and other communist places that, you know, around to this day, but back in the days when there was still a Soviet Union, you can argue, and this is very relevant, you can argue that, yeah, we talked about the Soviet Union and other places like communist China, Burma, and these other totalitarian communist countries that if they didn't throw you in jail or execute you, they threw you in some mental hospital to get you re-educated and all that, keep you there until your attitude changes. And yeah, we talked about the communist countries, but yet, while I'm at it, I can say during the time where we were talking about all these communist countries, back for decades, we had the same fucking thing. Yeah, we talked about the communists, but yeah, back in, like I said, 50s, 60s, 70s, well, figure, you know, you had the old YouTube videos of all the really big, when it was big business and the government was paying for mental hospitals, they threw a lot of people in there to shut them up. You know, they had a big old facilities, a facade. You know, they even had, some are fancier than others, but then behind the curtain, you know, fill in the blanks. You know, not too far from my area in western Pennsylvania, we had a place called Dixmont. You know, there was YouTube videos that still survived that actually had people taking pictures. You know, now it's totally torn down. But anyway, shit like that, you can look at old YouTube videos that there was remnants of that the buildings were still standing, some of them still weren't, some of them tore down. But okay, you get my point that while we were talking about the communist countries and how much better our country was and freer, we had an era where we were doing the same fucking thing while we were talking about the communists. You know, some people that were endangered themselves and other people, but then other people were locked away when we had a place to put them that we were embarrassed by or ashamed of just for having the wrong opinion and shit like that. We had it, you know. People want to bring that back, you know what I mean? So without the rambling, my point is the assholes that want to go say, get help and play the get help Yu-Gi-Oh card or whatever the fuck. My point in on this rambling, yeah, them motherfuckers would like to bring all that shit back. And while making themselves exempt from any such thing. It's like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck made you some with the infused knowledge to overuse the quote get help thing, you know what I mean? Some demented version of some demented illegit version of Dr. Phil. Maybe some asshole that wants to get rid of Dr. Phil and put himself on TV and change the whole they're trying to do that now, rewrite the whole textbook of what's crazier or not, just to suit a new, different cultures now, you know what I mean? So, a little bit too much information for you, but it very relates. It's not just some fucking YouTube troll. Some of it can be some YouTube troll or some asshole that you work next to or somebody that, like, who the fuck are you, you know? By what authority do you say this or that? And is it, like I said, is there a manifesto or a rule book to back up this private little dream world that you actually are endorsing here? Is there a name for this private little dream world or or this new dream world you want to make a reality. I mean, by maybe some of your fucking college buddies that do all the drinking and drugs and everything else, and yet go to college and they're getting freaking political. They're trying to get some kind of political control and everything, and control for authority as they see it, you know. But anyway, whether you call it trolling or just some asshole on there, there was a genuine assholes out there that actually would like to. Okay, I'm putting aside the people out there that are actually in authority, or communist leaders they fucking worship, or cult leaders they worship. The rest, okay, that will say that, use that get out help card, are in no way, and no way will be ever any kind of authority over you. They're just some asshole behind a computer that keep right on dreaming, you know what I mean? His life probably sucks, and they think they're like fucking fooling anybody, but it's like, oh, and if you got far in this video too, which I should have, the dig in that I should have gotten the beginning of this YouTube video too, just in case people didn't watch it the far away. The one element too, not just by what authority and all that yada yada I say, the one big thing. One of the biggest things yet. Oh, they themselves don't have the power to actually make you, you know. That's the kind of people that you say, like, whether behind the computer, oh, you say that as if, yeah, hiding behind a computer, that you have some power to actually make me that you actually really don't have. So it's an empty troll comment. You know what I mean? And yeah, like, keep dreaming, you know, if you behind some fucking computer, or if you're anybody that I could talk about you meet in real life in passing, that empty words that are there to be mocked, you know, you don't have no power or authority to make me, and you have no ties to any kind of existent power or authority that can make me. No ties to any kind of authority, any such authority that can make me. So the minute, you know, that card is played, it's nothing but somebody that makes a fool of themselves, and they know they're probably making a fool out of themselves and not intimidating or fooling anybody. So they have an anonymous YouTube channel with no content, and if they have no content of themselves expressing any views, or you can't even see what they're reading or subscribed to, then their words are invalid. They're shit, you know, they're nothing. Just like if I had my coffee cup with me to make a point, see what's in here? Nothing, you know, empty. Alright, that's about it.